Good morning and welcome to this special story time. Thank you so much for joining us today. Yes, we are teaming up today with this tinkering team from the Exploratorium. So I am excited to have them here. I am excited to be here with you. Please, as always, let us know where you're joining us from and who is joining in with you. And I hope you're ready with your material today. And of course, we are reading Duck, Rabbit, today. This one is written by Krouse, Rosenthal and illustrated by Tom Lichtenheld. So I am so excited. I hope you are ready for the party that we have for you today. Thank you so much for joining in. Please keep those comments coming and let us know where you are. Good morning to you, Lily and Justine. Oh my goodness. So good to see you. And Karen Gallagher Iverson, thank you so much for joining us today. Lily, I miss you. I am so glad you're able to join in today, and good morning to you, Justine, as well. Thank you so much joining us right here in Oakland. Sonia Abrantes, good morning to you, or is it good afternoon to you out in Lisbon? Thank you so much for joining us. And João Tiago as well, good morning to you. Amanda West, good morning to you. Sarah and Nathan, love it, love it. I hope you're ready for tinkering today. Thank you so much for joining us out in Illinois. And to you as well, Christina and Savannah, right here in Oakland. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time today. How are you doing? And of course, who else do we have? Good morning to you, Isao. How are you doing today? Thank you for joining in. And Sudea as well. Thank you. Good morning to you. I hope you're ready for story time. We have a beautiful story for you. And of course, then the tinkering team will be right on to tinker with us and walk us through this amazing project. Thank you so much for joining in. Please keep those messages coming. Get ready, get your flashlight, get everything that you need for this activity today. I am super, super excited, as you can tell. I hope you are too. Thank you so much. Casey, good morning to you. Thank you so much. And good morning to you, Axel Jones. Thank you for joining in. Please let me know who joined in with you and where they are joining in from. Good morning to you. Thank you so much. Dr. Korb, good morning to you. Science, I think today is the perfect day for you. I am glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining in. Absolutely. Good morning to you, Isabella, Leslie, Louise. How are you doing today? And of course, Danny, how are you? Right here in Oakland. I am glad you're able to join in story time today. And Isabella, hopefully we get to see some of your work during this presentation today. Thank you for joining in. And Owen, good morning to you. I know you'll be joining us live on the stream later on, so I am excited about that. Good morning to you. Pema, you say you love rabbits, so I'm sure you're seeing a rabbit on this one. I don't know. What is everybody else seeing? All right. Good morning to you, Arthur. How are you doing? Thank you for joining in. And Becky and Meridel, good morning to you joining us. And Arthur is one of my students. Good morning to you. I am so glad you could join in. All right. Good morning to you, students. Dolores Huerta in San Francisco. Good morning to you. I'm so glad you're able to join in as a school. Thank you so much for joining us today on Story Time. Absolutely thrilled. Thank you. Thank you. Please remember, gather the materials that you need, your flashlight, and a few household objects that you can use for this project. But today, before we go into our reading, I have the amazing team from the Exploratorium to introduce to you before we go into our story, and so they can introduce themselves and talk a little bit about what we're here for. So to begin with, I have Ryoko Matsumoto. Could you come on, please? Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for inviting us here.
Karen Wilkinson, good morning to you. Please join us.
Hi, everyone. Thrilled to be here.
Good morning to you, Casey. Join us. Casey Federico, good morning to you.
Good morning. So wonderful to be with you.
Awesome. We have Deanna as well joining us. Good morning to you. Please jump on. Awesome. There is Deanna coming on right now.
Hey, good morning. So excited to be here.
And of course, last but not the least, we have Stephanie joining us as well. Thank you so much for joining in today. So, team, before we go into reading the book, can you tell us more about this project? And feel free to jump in. Maybe we can start with you, Casey.
Uh-oh. Casey, you're muted.
Muted.
I'm so excited to be here with you all and think with you. And I'm going to pass over to my colleague, Ryoko.
Awesome.
Well, what did you say?
Oh, what are we doing today? What is this project?
Yeah, we've been bringing teaching activities to Study Matters class over the last 2 months or so. And this is the first time to bring this online public workshop.
Right. Yeah, no, awesome. And you get to meet the team. So later on, they will be coming on and they'll be helping you with all the different things. But for now, thank you so much, team. We'll be right back together. So you've seen the amazing Tinkering Studio team that is here with us. Our amazing scientists are here. So get excited, get ready. And then right now, we're going to go into our book. And this one is Duck, Rabbit. And of course, I will be checking in to see who else has joined in this party today. But of course, we are reading Duck, Rabbit. And this one is written by Krouse, Rosenthal, and Tom Lichtenheld. And of course, we're reading this one with permission of Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Yes, a big, big thank you as always to all the publishers and all the illustrators and creators out there that have given us an opportunity to share their amazing material right here on Storytime. So thank you so much for joining in, and let's get ready for our book. What do you see? Duck, Rabbit by Krouse, Rosenthal, and Tom Lichtenheld. And of course, being read with permission of Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Hey, look, a duck. That's not a duck. That's a rabbit. What do you think? Are you kidding me? It's totally a duck. It's for sure a rabbit. See, there's his bill. What are you talking about? Those are ears, silly. It's a duck, and he's about to eat a piece of bread. Maybe. It's a rabbit, and he's about to eat a carrot. What do you think? Wait, listen. Did you hear that? I heard duck sounds. Quack, quack. That's funny. I distinctly heard rabbit sounds. Sniff, sniff. Now the duck is wading through the swamp. No, the rabbit is hiding in the grass. There, see? It's flying. Flying? It's hopping. What do you think? Look, the duck is so hot he's getting a drink. No, the rabbit is so hot he's cooling off his ears. Here, look at the duck through my binoculars. Sorry, still see a rabbit. Here, ducky, ducky. Here, you cute little rabbit. Oh, great. You scared him away. I didn't scare him away. You scared him away. You know, maybe you were right. Maybe it was a rabbit. Thing is, now I'm actually thinking it was a duck. What do you think? Well, anyway, now what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I know what I want to do. I want to do some science. Hey, look, an anteater. That's no anteater. That's a brachiosaurus. Uh-oh, here we go again. The end. Well, kids and everybody joining in today, I hope you enjoyed that amazing story. Perspective, right? Absolutely love it. And that's what we'll be doing today. And the tinkering team will walk you through exactly what that is. But I'm so happy that you're here, able to join us wherever you're joining in. Miss Emily Walsh and your students, second grade class right here in Oakland. Thank you so much. At Horace Man, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Absolutely appreciate it. Jen Veda, good morning to you, our Emerson librarian. Absolutely love it. I am glad you're here. And happy holidays, says Maria. Good morning to you, everybody that is joining in today. Thank you so much. So without much ado, we're going to get started. And right now, I'm going to call on the tinkering team to get us started. Ryoko and Steph will be coming on so they can get us going with our next part. Thank you for joining in.
Thanks, Peter, for reading that book. Such a good debate on the perspectives.
Can I just chime in really quickly and say we'll be monitoring the chat for your comments and questions. So any ideas that you have or things that you want to ask us, there's a lot of people that we'll say hello to for sure. So keep those hellos coming and tell us where you're joining us from. But let us know things that you're trying and questions that you have, things that you notice.
That's great.
All right. Over to you, Ryoko and Steph.
All right. Yeah, that was interesting. Oh, sorry. See, Steph, that was an interesting story.
Yeah, it almost makes me think of when I look at clouds or even spills of liquids and I find different shapes and forms in them.
Yeah, definitely. I was thinking the same. Like that reminds me of me looking at some cloud or spills or some kind of ink. Yeah.
And one of the things that I'm really excited about with this activity is I always want to find ways to share with other people what I see when I see a shape in a cloud, or in this case, maybe even a shadow.
Yeah. So today's book was not actually about light and shadow. Mr. Lee Mother has been reading books about light and shadow for the whole week. But this book was not about shadow or light, but it was about different perspective on one shape. So that's what we're gonna do today, actually. So today's activity is called Shadow Remix. So what we plan to do today is we're gonna make some interesting shadows and try to focus on what you see in that shadow or what it reminds you of, and then add your drawing so that you can tell other people what you're seeing in that shadow. So to do that, I think we had some material list. Steph, could you remind us what we need to do today, or what we need to bring today?
Yeah, so this is a great time to make sure you have a few materials so that you can tinker along with us. So one material is having some sort of light source. And so that could be a flashlight. So I have a flashlight here. It also could be a cell phone where you can turn on the flashlight. So that works as well. I also have a pair of scissors because we were hoping that we could all tinker with some of the same objects. So I have scissors, some clothespins, and a glass. And I also have some drawing supplies. So here is some paper and a marker. And the last thing to think about is to look around your space, and maybe there are just interesting objects that have different textures. So I brought a plant because I thought that might make some interesting shadows. So look around your space and maybe gather some different things to experiment with.
Thank you. So now maybe I can show some examples.
Hey, Ryoko, we have a question right off the bat. Anna is wondering, what does remix mean? Why is this a shadow remix?
Yeah, that's a great question. Do you know what remix means, Steph?
Yeah, so when I think of a remix, I think of taking one thing and then interpreting it in a different way. And so in this case, what we mean with a remix is that we might take a shape, or in this case, a shadow, and then interpret it in a certain way. And then somebody else might take that same shape and interpret it in a totally different way. So it's almost like remixing in music, where you
Yeah.
get.
So yeah, it's usually used in music, right? You take someone's existing song and then you change something, maybe the tempo or beat, some kind of melody, and then transform it into in your own way, adding your own perspective. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing with shadows today.
I like that question, Anna. Do you want to show some examples, Ryoko?
Sure. Okay, let me share some screen. Sorry, share screen. All right. So how you can get started with this activity is simple. You just take some object. In this case, I just grabbed some blocks and I made a simple shadow like this. And when I was watching it, I actually saw, does this look like a bear? So what I saw is this. So I just add my interpretation, like by drawing onto the paper and made a bear. And while I was doing it, actually, someone else saw something else. Well, so it was actually my husband. He saw this could be a person's profile, and he actually saw another person above, like right here. We didn't draw it. But I thought it's interesting. Within one shadow, we saw different things. And this is another example. Here, I am trying to, I'm holding my light over the object and keeps moving the light source. And I see as I move the light, the shadow also keeps changing the shape and size. Sometimes it's becomes super long or really big. Sometimes it looked like, at some point, it looked like a rooftop. Or at some point, it looked like someone's hairstyle. Or at some point, it looked like crocodile mouth or something. And then I decided, oh, okay, it can be anything. But since we just read a book about rabbit, I just decided to draw a rabbit there. Yeah, like that. Here's another example. Oops, oh, no, sorry. No. Here's another example. Because we also read duck and rabbit, I also thought this could be a duck. Because this could be a duck beak, right? It's interesting. As I move the shadow, as I move the light, the shadow keeps changing and it's actually adding animation onto my shadow remix. Here's another example. This one, I wonder if you can tell what object I'm using. This was actually a glass. My tea was in it. It's almost empty. But as I was moving my light source, I thought, this could be peacock's feather, spreading its feathers. And then I actually added some kind of piece of tape on top of the lens, and I sharpened with a green color. So that's how you see the green color light. But see, in this way, you can also add animation onto your shadow remix. So I thought that's interesting. This is something we're going to be exploring today. Okay, and this one is actually all done by analog, like pencil and paper. And I'm actually drawing on the real paper. But now Steph can show you how you can do it with digital drawing tools.
Yeah, thanks, Ryoko. Do you mind stopping the share? Perfect. Okay, so we got to see, Ryoko, all of your great examples of how to make remixes with like a paper and a pencil or a pen. And now I wanted to show another way that you can go about remixing shadows. And this one also allows you to share what you're making with other people really easily. So I'm going to share some examples now. Oh, here. Oops. Thank you for bearing with me. Here we go. Okay. Can you all see my screen okay? So here is an example of a shadow that one of our friends who actually lives in South Korea made and shared with us. And I'm not going to tell you what this is a shadow of. And so if you have guesses, you can drop them in the chat. And later on, we'll reveal what object made this shadow. But our friend Ara created the shadow and she shared it out with us. And different people had different interpretations of what that shadow could be. So Ara herself saw a cat, and this is how she interpreted the shadow. Another long distance faraway collaborator named Astrid saw like a frog businessman. I always think it's fun when different people have this similar interpretations of the same shadow. And so Saskia and Ryan both saw this shadow and changed the scale and thought, oh, these could be mountains with people climbing up them. Diana, who you'll hear from in a little bit, made this beautiful shadow remix where she rotated the image, and then she drew this anglerfish, which is one of my favorites. Now, we also got to use the same shadow and to see what Mr. Lamada's second grade class saw in the same shadow. And so Mr. Lamada, if you want to jump up with me, let's look at some examples of what your wonderful students saw.
Yeah, so this one by Arthur, he amazing. He saw that, you know, like a little doll with wrapped in nice cozy purple blanket. And then Abdul Rahman saw a person hiking on a mountain.
I love that because it's similar to some of the other remixes that we just looked at, where some of our friends on Twitter did similar things. So it's always cool when people come upon similar interpretations. Here's a video. We can hear from Isabella.
I think this looks like a volcano spitting out lava because of the two bumps in the pictures. It makes it look like a volcano that's spitting out fire.
I mean, how can you beat that?
Right.
Okay, next one.
What I saw is a person with the glasses having fun.
Oh, that one was Mom Dog. I love it.
And one last one.
So, I drew this because the bumps on it look like ears, and I just thought it looked like a cat named Meow, because it looks like the bump on top looks like two ears, and in the middle, eyes and a mouth and nose, but it with the collar. And the name tag says Meow. It just made me think of that, and I'm gonna put more. And I'm gonna finish that idea. So now, bye.
So this was Mia who made the cat, and I just love hearing the interpretations with how she saw the shapes of the ears and how she decided to turn it into a cat. So anyway, thank you, Mr. Lamada. Your class is awesome, and we just had so much fun seeing what they saw in shadows.
Right, no, they're amazing. I love them. All right, so.
And I can do a grand reveal. So if you guessed that this was the shadow, of a bottle, you were correct. So this was the shadow of the bottom of a bottle, which maybe you can kind of see if you imagine rotating that bottle. And with that, we're making all of these great remixes. We're getting to see how different people interpret the same shadow. And now we want to share with you a way that we can all collect all of those examples in the same place. So Casey, I wonder if you would jump on in and tell us about how we're doing that today.
With you, Steph, and to be with you, Ryoko, and to be sharing with other people. But this is this hard time, right? We wish we were together and that we were doing this activity at a big table and we could all look at what each other is doing and say, oh, you used that, maybe I could try that. And build off each other's ideas. But we're in a different time right now, and we have to find other ways to share our ideas. So what I'm hoping you all will do is join our Padlet. I know the team from Dolores Huerta, who's on the call, they know Padlet very well. They use it for lots of things, but it's a tool online that you can use to post the pictures of the kinds of shadow remixes you're creating. We already created a few, posted a few things this morning that we were working on. And then if you wanted to try that same shape that Steph was showing us, that bottom of a bottle, you can go to it's the only orange box on the Padlet. And when you press on it, you can download that picture. And when you download the picture, then you can start doing your own remix or your own build on it. And teachers, this is a great thing to throw onto Seesaw to see what people might add to it and how many different ways it might appear. So while Ryoko is leading us through and we're all doing our own work, we hope you'll put up pictures. It doesn't have to be a perfect finished picture, just a picture of what remix you're making so that we can share with each other and enjoy each other's creations.
Casey, one thing, if you have a cell phone, I just put this QR code on the corner. So you can just put your phone there, and then that will also take you to the Padlet page on your.
Exactly right. And then when you press this plus button, it gives you the chance to upload your picture or whatever image you want to add so that we can see more and more images as we're going through. But yeah, the QR code will get you there, or we have it in the comments. Thank you so much, Ryoko.
Thank you. All right, so what time? Okay. So what we're gonna do now is I'm going to take a few minutes pause here. And in a few minutes, we're gonna be bringing more tinkerers, and then ask them about some tips or techniques or some ideas or what they're working on. And it doesn't really mean, this is instructional. It's more like inspirational. So you can hear them in a few minutes. But just for now, I think you have the materials at your hands. If you don't have it, it's not too late. You can still grab something from your table. Like on my table, there's so many things. You can still grab it. And if you have a phone, you can still do this activity. So let's pause. I'm going to put some music for 2 minutes. And in 2 minutes, we're going to be bringing some guests. Okay? Yeah, I'm also going to start working.
Ryoko, I know you're wanting to pause, but Steph is saying she forgot to show the remix with the phone. Would you want to show that?
32. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I would love to just quickly, while everyone is getting set up, I would just love to show the process of how to make a remix with a phone, because it can be a little bit different than with paper and pencil. And so I'll just show you a quick slide. This can be while you're getting your materials to get started. But here's an example of how I took a photo of the shadow of a pair of scissors, and then I selected the edit button. And that allowed me to press those 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner and choose markup. And with the markup tool, I could draw what I saw in my shadow. So I was going for kind of a butterfly, but this is just an example of one way to make a digital remix that I wanted to be sure to share. And I'll make sure this slide is actually on the Padlet, so you can check back there if you want to revisit it for any instructions. Thanks, Ryoko. Sorry about that.
Thanks, Steph. Yeah, I'm going to just maybe 1 more minute. We can just quietly work on our own. I think I'm seeing some person here with a headphone, but I'm not sure. Anyway, okay. All right, let's hear from Casey.
Hi, Ryoko. It's so fun to be here and trying this with you in a new way. Thank you so much.
Yeah. How are you working on today?
So I have some interesting stuff happening on both sides of me with both of my daughters. And so I'm going to move the screen so that you can see what each of them created. We used the invitations that you talked about. We used a cup and we used a clothespin. So here is one of them. And this is a drawing from my first grader. And she is going to show you how it looks when she uses her cup to make a shadow.
Hey, Ryoko, can you spotlight Casey's camera? It's not letting me change it.
Yep.
So there's that huge sun, and you can see this beautiful scene below with a cactus and some people and a castle. And are you moving that sun around? You can move the sun to different places.
So here's the sun.
So that was one of our remixes, is moving the sun around this beautiful picture. And then I'm going to show you, this is happening, everybody in our household is trying this, lots of different ages. So that was our first grader. And then our fourth grader also tried out this activity. So here we have a container of soup. Let's put it even closer. We have sushi, and then we thought that this looked a little bit like chopsticks. So we were trying to get our chopsticks to go and connect to the sushi. And maybe it's a little bit hard to get the chopsticks to get that slippery sushi just right. So those were the things that we were playing with here in our house, and we're having so much fun trying all these different explorations.
Yeah, I wonder which one comes first. Do you know? Do they have the idea first, or do they draw first and then they find something that's gonna match with the drawing?
That's a great question. Did the idea come first or the drawing come first? Both. I'm hearing both came first. So that the idea came, and then the drawing came a little bit, and then it changed the idea. And when we saw the shadow move, that changed our ideas as well. So a little bit of both was happening. Yeah.
I mean, it's really nice to have someone in your family and working with someone in your family, because as I'm doing this alone, I realize I need, 3 hands. Like, someone, you hold the light here for me. But, if you are working with your family, someone else can hold the light, or someone else can, hold the object.
Also, one of the things I noticed, Ryoko, as a parent, is that sometimes with art projects, we as parents, or I know I can take over a little bit. And with this project, my job is just holding the flashlight. And my daughters are telling me where to move the flashlight. And so it's a really nice change in that somebody else is more in charge. And the adult can maybe take a step back and be a little bit more of a, create a tool, a support, instead of taking over the whole activity.
Nice. And I saw on the portrait, I think, Layla's shadow tracing technique.
Yes.
And
yes.
Yeah.
So Layla, one of the things we noticed was that when you're first trying out shadow remixing, that it often is the tracing that's really the most interesting part. And that can take a lot of time. And I would say over the course of the week, as we were getting ready to do this, we spent hours this week tracing and discovering different things as things moved through the line. Because when you trace a shadow, you're not getting any input. There's nothing to push your pencil against. So it's a lot of control to try to get those lines.
I see. And it's going to create a nice game also. So after you trace, you take out the object, and then you have, someone else to guess what's
That's exactly right. This is one of the creations this week that came from moving different pieces all around. And then we had to think about what we saw. And the most recent idea was we were going to turn it into a helicopter. So yeah, it's sort of a version of the scribble game, but with light tracing.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us. We're so excited to be here.
Yeah, keep tinkering and keep making. All right, I'm going to bring the next person is Diana.
Hi, Ryoko. Ryoko, I am so excited to be here and to talk with you through a project that I've been working on. And I'd love your help on this because I'm a little stuck.
Okay.
Like Casey was saying, this is such a fun activity to do with other people, but I'm by myself here. So I was wondering if you and I could help make this
Sure.
remix.
Remote.
I have this big piece of poster paper. I thought it'd be really fun to make a shadow remix really big. And so what I have is this like funny kitchen spoon that I got out of my kitchen. And I thought it looked like a really funny, interesting looking shadow. But I don't know really where to start. So I was just trying to look at it and I was wondering, like, what do you see in the shadow?
Some kind of alien. Here, I have my 5-year-old here. Toma, can you come? Let's ask 5 years old. More. It's fine. Sorry, his hairstyle a bit. Toma, これ何に見える？はい。何に人？Ah.
Did he see an alien too?
This looks like a starfish, but starfish doesn't.
Oh.
It's too.
So maybe these could be the arms of the starfish.
Maybe.
And maybe I don't know.
birds.
We could have these. I liked your idea too of alien as well, but maybe we can make like an alien starfish. Maybe have some eyes here. I don't know. Let's start. Let's start drawing. Let's start remixing. I'm gonna add some eyeballs. But yeah, this is really fun because this is such a big way to do a drawing. I have a really big piece of paper and a thick marker, so I can really make big motions with this drawing. I don't know. I'm actually kind of liking this, like an alien starfish shape. I feel like they would have a nose.
Actually, someone else saying jellyfish.
A jellyfish. Oh my goodness. Maybe it's even, there's some tentacles coming off.
And Danny said, oh yeah, exactly. Coronavirus.
Oh no. So maybe some spikes. Oh, these are all such great ideas. These probably each could be their own shadow remix, which is so cool because there's just so many different ways to see a shape in a shadow.
Nice. And is that a sunlight you using?
Actually, today I'm using this little flashlight that I have propped up on a tripod just so that I could get, a good angle to demo for everyone today. But actually, I've played around also with doing shadow remixes with sunlight, and I'll add a video that I made into Padlet just to see like what's a different way to do it. But it really just depends on your lighting source today. For me, this was flashlight worked really much better for me today just because of the lighting. But if you have like a room in your house or maybe even outside that gets really cool sunlight on it and then maybe have some interesting shadows there, bring a piece of paper outside and use the lighting that you have, and it could really help get those creative juices flowing for some different types of shadows you can remix.
Yeah, that's so true. Experimenting with light sources. Sometimes you use sunlight. I heard some people use candlelight.
Oh, that's a good idea. Maybe like if you get like a really nice flame.
Yeah, and yeah, this is love the large scale creations. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, when you're scaling things up, it's totally different things. Nice. All right, let's check in with Karen or Karen, do you see anything on Padlet or comments?
Yeah, well, great comments coming in. I love that somebody saw Patrick the Star, the SpongeBob SquarePants reference. That was really good to see. And I think people are just getting started. So we want to encourage you to try this out and share some things with us on Padlet and keep those comments going. I'm really glad people are enjoying it.
Okay, thank you.
Owen, I think Owen is ready to go too. I know we've still got a few things. We're very excited to share stuff. Yeah.
All right, let's bring Mr. Limatter and Owen.
All right. Well, Owen, how are you doing? Hey, Leah.
Hey.
Oh,
Hi, everybody.
so happy you're here.
We have this thing made out. What? There.
I don't know. Can you see it at all? Let's see if we can get the screen a little bit closer.
Because we're on a computer.
So what's one of the shadows that we saw, Owen?
We saw this big human, like a head, and this big monster, and this a big monster trying to eat.
So we have pinking shears, and we've been having fun making them be like teeth. I don't know if you can you see that? It's a little bit bright.
Yeah, because
Oh, I see.
There we go. Let's see.
Yeah,
Shadow.
a zigzag. Right.
wow.
Well, we need to keep it down or else it floods the screen with too much light. But we've been having a lot of fun trying to make shadows like monsters eating things.
Yeah, and what is that thing? What is that object?
This object
Oh, that's
that
like
looks, it is a celery root.
I see.
Yeah, and I'm holding it with a clip because it keeps it up. And we realized, like, you know, if you look at just the top of it, we were thinking, oh, it looks kind of like grass or hair. And then when you look at the whole thing, it's hard to see the shadow. But there, it has a little nose on it. I don't know, does anybody else see anything else?
Yes, someone's hair, the nose is there.
It's almost too literal.
Yeah.
Looks like Mr. Limatta's hair.
We were experimenting with twirling shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
We have this is a bottle of. We only have a little bit of it because we use so much of it. But it's it's kind of like soap. It can make your bath really bubbly.
yeah, but we were experimenting with what it might be.
We also have some Duplo.
Yeah.
I actually have a whole lot of Legos, but not this kind.
Yeah.
That looks like a fun shadow exploration station over there. You have so many different objects.
Yeah, and I also have this that I can put up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a shadow, kind of. Oh, there we go. It stands up. It's kind of like a big body.
Ooh. Malak says it looks like a monster with powers.
Malik. Malak or Malik, I don't know.
Yeah. We've had a lot of fun in Mr. Lamata's class doing all of these shadow experiments with the tinkerers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you were guessing what this was, it's a big bodysuit for Spider-Man.
Thanks, you guys.
Oh, thank you so much, Julia. Owen, that was amazing. Oh, that was awesome. Thank you.
I
Yeah.
also have a big cool mat of Legos.
Yeah. Karen, do we have any more people sharing? But yeah, that's really cool. Owen.
Some people are putting things in the Padlet. Paolo, I think Kevin is going to like the shadow remix that she put in there for going to school.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you so much.
How
Yeah.
do we get out of the show?
What's that, Owen?
Okay, no.
Owen wishes that he had controls and could add himself and delete himself from the show.
Oh, no. I can actually leave studio. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was awesome.
Jennifer
Thank
just
you,
put a
Vedder.
comment saying, "Great job, Owen." That was really
Thank you, Mr. Vedder.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Owen. Leah.
Oh.
All right. And well, I hope you're tinkering at home. Please keep sharing with us whatever you are doing. Keep showing us, keep sending it in. And if you can take a picture as well, if you're not able to get on Padlet, get a picture. You can always send it to me. You can always send it on, upload it on the Facebook, and we will be able to check on it later on. Tinkering team, and if you have anything more, please welcome.
Do you think should we show the Padlet on the screen?
Yeah.
Let's look at
If you can, why not? Yeah.
Let me share the screen. Oh. Well, maybe everyone can come. Oh, sorry.
I can do it too.
Oh, whoa.
You'll see it.
Oh,
So here's a few.
Oh, wow. I see the sushi.
Yeah. Look at the seashell underwater or an umbrella.
Wow. Who's that? Mr. Axel's class. That's awesome. Where is that?
I'm seeing so much representation from Dolores Huerta Elementary in San Francisco. I see Axel's class and Ms. Bowis's class, and lots of people posting on our Padlet from San Francisco, Mr. Lamada.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes. No, absolutely. Love it. Love it.
Paula, look at this one. Paula here's a shadow that I thought reminded me of Batman. And she actually saw a beautiful girl.
Wow.
Fun.
I was also really inspired by the shadow of nail clippers that Miles posted. And it's a video that I transformed into the bug because Miles said that they thought it looked like a bug. So I did my best, but it was really fun to try to interpret a shadow.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, especially, you can share, I mean, you can see different things on one shadow, but also using the same object, you get so many different takes. Like just with clothespins, I don't know how many different variations we saw so far.
Those are great.
Those are great. I love them too. Yeah. Amazing.
Great.
All right. Well, Karen, that was awesome. I think it was just wonderful.
Well, I just want to thank Mr. Lamada and your students for inspiring us to try out pairing tinkering activities with storybooks. The way we share stories online every day with little ones and families and students all over the world is really fantastic. And we're just thrilled to be collaborating. And we have more things to share in the new year. So we're very excited.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. And yeah, we could, I guess that was what we had for you today, but we can have the team come on. And so we can just, just wrap up and share. And this was amazing. I am so glad that this got to happen. So many behind the scenes people working on this. And thank you so much to the entire team, the Tinkering Studio team. Great credit to you. Absolutely loved everything that you've done today and just with us in the classroom. I've been, my class, myself and my kids, I think we've been great beneficiaries of what has happened so far. So I am glad that the rest of the world gets to see this. And hopefully everything fun, as we could see from the comments and the sharings that were happening. Yeah, anybody with any words to share out there? Encouraging, keep tinkering.
Happy holidays, happy tinkering, and show us your shadow remixes.
Right. And then where can people find these? Where can people find these activities?
Yeah, we'll have a lot of the books and activities that we'll be sharing on the Tinkering Studios website and on yours too, right, Mr. Lamato?
Absolutely, yeah. So do check out the Storytime platforms for all the links, and then go to the Tinkering Studio page as well. You'll find all this information, and of course, check us out. We're on our YouTube channel. We're here on Facebook, and also you can find us on our Instagram page. So please do follow along and see the amazing work that the Tinkering Studio is doing, and the amazing work that the kids are doing as well. So yeah. Thank you so much to everybody that joined in this morning from all over the world. I saw people joining us from Boulder, Colorado. I think that was Anna Guardiola. We had people from Oakland. We had people joining us from Italy. So it is really amazing that books and science can bring us together like this. And please keep tinkering at home. Keep enjoying these activities. And of course, if you do have questions, do feel free to leave a comment on the tinkering pages or indeed the Storytime pages, and we will gladly get you the information that you need. But this has been Storytime today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back tomorrow. Oh, on Monday. Monday. We're back on Monday. I'm so excited. I want to come back tomorrow. We're back on Monday with more stories. So do check out the Storytime platforms and see what we will have for you next week. But for now, thank you from everybody, from myself and the entire Tinkering Studio team. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today.
Bye, everyone.